You're listening to Fast Facts, Ask the Expert with Tom Viola. Listeners, welcome to this week's Fast Facts, Ask the Expert, joined today by Tom Viola. Tom, thank you for being here.
Andrew, thank you so much. You know, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, well, I got a good one for you. This one actually, you remember Brittany Duncan, she actually submitted this one because she is seeing in basically everywhere. It's online, it's in the stores and all of this. It is the beverages that have THC in them. And I think there's a whole bunch of different lines of beverages that have them, whether it's going to be your energy drinks or whether it's going to be with alcoholic beverages or something. What do you know about this? And can you talk a little bit about, pros if there are any and the cons if there are any?
Absolutely. So let's be careful. Okay. First, we have to realize there are some beverages contain CBD, cannabidiol, and some beverages contain THC, but not Delta-9 THC. Delta-9 THC is the stuff that's in cannabis that gets you high. But what they're selling in some of these beverages are chemical congeners of Delta-9 THC, specifically Delta-8 and Delta-10 THC. Now, it doesn't seem like there's much difference between them because they all sound alike and they kind of look alike. But Delta-8 and Delta-10 are considered legal for sale in some states and some territories because they're made from hemp. So when the 2018 Farm Bill was introduced, it allowed farmers to grow hemp and to it deregulated or descheduled hemp. So hemp became legal, as well as everything that can be derived from hemp became legal. So from hemp, I can derive CBD. From CBD, I can derive Delta-8 and Delta-10 THC, which again are chemical cousins, not the same as Delta-9, but still have some of the same or similar effects to Delta-9. So those are the things you find in some of the energy drinks. And so what kind of effects you can get? Well, essentially the same effects you'd get from Delta-9 for the most part, somewhat subdued. But many people have said that the Delta-8 and Delta-10 THCs cause more of the psychoses and more of the paranoia than you'd find with Delta-9. And, if you're not used to the effects of Delta-8 or Delta-10, and you take a whole bunch all at once, like drink a whole energy drink or a whole drink with Delta-8 or Delta-10 in it, you might find yourself very well, cowering under a gurney in an ER, paranoid and hypertensive and tachycardic because you weren't ready for the fact that when you consume THC, it's broken down in your liver to a much longer acting version of THC, which can last hours. And it does freak a lot of people out. So I wanted to make sure that we kind of clear the air as to what's in these drinks and their legality. Not every state has made Delta-8 and Delta-10 legal. Some have made them illegal, but it's really a side effect of the whole legislation surrounding cannabis. Cannabis is still illegal at the federal level. States have legalized it. The Farm Bill compounded things by making hemp legal, which led to the uprise of Delta-8 and Delta-10 THC. And so what we need to be careful of is kids have access to this, young adults have access to this, adults have access to this. For kids and young adults, we may not be ready for things like the hypertensive crisis, the tachycardia, the psychoses. But in older adults, we're also concerned now because they're more at risk from a cardiovascular standpoint, and they may be more brittle as far as the ability to tolerate some of the psychoses and some of that paranoia. So we've really got to be tuned into what patients are using and to warn them. When you're drinking one of these drinks, it sounds novel, it sounds interesting, it sounds like something you might enjoy, but you got to do it in small doses and in moderation because the side effects can overwhelm you pretty quickly.
Now, is the addictive property similar? I would say, from an energy drink standpoint, those can be a little bit more addictive, but from the CBD and THC side, it's not as addictive, correct?
Well, we don't know. And I hate to say it because it's the one thing I don't like to say. I like to have moldy answers or at least know a way to get them. But it's what we don't know that we don't know about cannabis and some of the cannabinoids like Delta-8 and Delta-10. No one has specifically found or said that cannabis is addictive. But I know there are plenty of people out there who would say they are addicted to cannabis. Delta-8 and Delta-10 as congeners of Delta-9 may very well be addictive as well. And the fact that you can buy the drug, if you will, anywhere, anytime, means that this could lead to a whole other new avenue of substance abuse and substance use disorder that we weren't expecting from something that's essentially available in any, convenience store.
Dang. Well, I think, a message that I would love just especially for the kids. It's so hard to differentiate sometimes. It's the whole same argument of like whether something is a toy or whether it's a lethal weapon or whatever. And sometimes we kind of blur those lines. And this is such a scary thing because energy drinks are so popular among the youth. And yeah, dang, Tom, thanks for being here today. If someone wanted to reach out, ask you more clarifying questions about this, how can they find you?
They can find me anytime on my website. It's tomviola.com and anywhere on social media at Pharmacology Declassified. Thanks so much, Andrew.
Thanks. Thank you for listening to Fast Facts Ask the Expert. If you have a topic you'd like one of our experts to answer, simply email me, Andrew at ataleoftwohygienist.com, and we will get it on the air as soon as possible. Thanks for listening.